Zooshi launched yesterday, and a lot of people in our group did over a 6x, 6 times the return in just less than a day so far. Those of you who are in communities that work together to find these, I think our community is the best at this. But you have a huge advantage, obviously, over individuals out there trying to find these on your own. I'll talk a little bit more about how we found this days before fair launch, which obviously gives you a big advantage as opposed to finding about it now. So check this out. So you see this little candle here yesterday at 9:45. They actually released it. You can see that people who are insiders of Zooshi. This is common with fair launches, and even with launches. Sometimes, although they'll do it less because people can get ticked off about it, with launches that go into pre-sale. This one didn't do a pre-sale. This one just did what they call a fair launch, which means they don't do the pre-sale on a launch pad like DXL or something, and they just release on PancakeSwap. That's like their opening. But when they do that fair launch, it'll be pretty often they'll launch first and the insiders will know about it. You see this little candle. So they actually released it at 9:45, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's something wrong with it if they did a pre-sale, didn't tell people that they were going to do that, and then they did that, because people getting into the pre-sale when there's a pre-sale are expecting to have an advantage when it first hits PancakeSwap, unless that's disclosed beforehand. But if it's a fair launch, I think it's, I think it's fair for them to let their friends know and the people that were part of the project buy here on this little candle before they announce to the public what the link is. I don't know if that's exactly a fair launch in the truest sense of the word, but yeah, I think it's reasonable that the developers would have a little bit of an advantage to be able to buy first, etc. But look for that opportunity, because oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, there are ways to find the contract address for these projects before they announce it fully to the public. So you can do a little digging. Sometimes they accidentally let you know what it is, like they forget that they're going to do this, and they're just, one of the admins or whatever share it in the pinned posts, for example. And there's other ways too. And I think I'll do a video in the future of all the different ways you might be able to track down that contract address for these fair launches when you know about these launches early. Because if you knew, look at this little candle here, you might have to zoom in on the video, but at 9:45 a.m. Pacific yesterday, if you knew that this was launching and that you wanted to get into it because you'd been in a community that was discussing it for days leading up to this fair launch, and you were able to track down that contract address and you were on the lookout for it, you could get in at this, really low price. Because when they announce it in their Telegram, of course, there's this big spike. But even if you get in, look at this, let's be really honest. A project like this, and we see these all the time, that does this big spike, like at 10 a.m. Pacific when it launched yesterday, even if you bought it here at the top of this spike or waited for the first drop down to here at a 10:15 a.m. and bought here, you're looking at like a 4 to a 6x, a 4 to a 6x easy. So you didn't have to find the contract address early and spot that they'd kind of opened it up on PancakeSwap early. And by the way, if you are looking for it when it kind of, if for these fair launches that do release them early and do it kind of secretly for a few minutes or 15 minutes before they announce it, if you are able to track down the contract address. And by the way, these are things that we're working on in our community all the time. Like we're talking about this leading up to the launch, and someone might track it down and share the contract address. So obviously huge advantages there if you're in a group that's organized like that. But my point is just, uh, obviously huge advantages if you're getting in here, but wouldn't matter. You know what I mean? As far as obviously it's a bigger return, but still huge returns anywhere if you were to have known about this early. So what is Zooshi? If you didn't catch it, is you're just getting introduced to it for the first time. I'm not going to do a big detailed video about the fundamentals, but just, refer you over to their website. I'll go over a few things here. So NFTs are hot right now, and they're focusing on NFTs. They were hot 6 months ago, and then they kind of went away, and then rewards tokens came, and this has kind of combined the two. So NFTs plus rewards tokens. Rewards tokens are when you own a token that's a rewards token, a reflection token, they're often referred to, you get compensated usually automatically sent to your wallet with these rewards tokens with BNB or Cake or whatever it may be. And this is also a rewards token. So it says, visit the zoo, stay for the community, make more money with our rewards, and check out our game with rare NFTs. And that's another thing they've integrated. HODL did a wheel. If you go up here, HODL was a rewards token that rewarded you in BNB. That it did a wheel, and Zooshi made a wheel. So they've kind of brought together like a lot of really successful things, features, characteristics, and brought it into one. The NFTs, the idea of like games, like the one I just showed you where you can spin and win, Zooshi, and then being a rewards token that rewards you for holding the token. They're kind of bringing all of that together. They had an audit. Now it's not a CertiK audit that's considered like, you know, the bulletproof audit, but they did do an audit, and, you know, I think it's with let's say, yes, Tech Rate. So it's not like the most, you know, bulletproof audit, but nonetheless, the fact that they did one at all is good. And you know, maybe they'll do a CertiK one in the future, but you know, most of the audience out there doesn't differentiate. So when you're looking at being able to anticipate which one of these are going to do really well, if they do an audit at all, just the perceived value of that is really, really high. CertiK audits being the most bulletproof that are out there. A couple other good ones too, but CertiK's the big good one. But you know, 7% rewards paid out in Zooshi. So Zooshi is the rewards, the reflection token. For those of you just learning about this for the first time, you hold it, you get paid in Zooshi. So they've combined that really hot theme of rewards. You know, there's been a big trend with those. Our community's made a fortune with those different types of rewards tokens. Again, there's some that reward you in BNB, Cake, you name it. This one rewards you in Zooshi, which is a token, for those that aren't familiar, you know, that you could go on Pancake and exchange for any token that you want to, you know, including, you know, you could convert it into, you know, Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever you want. So it's a real, you know, significant value, these rewards tokens that pay you for holding. But again, combining that with NFTs, which is becoming hot again, and with gaming and already building very early in the process. That's what's also impressive when you see them able to develop stuff. It's a little slow loading here, but that wheel that I showed you, like even if it's simple like this, right now the jackpot, it says 439 USD. So it says spin for a chance to win some Zooshi tokens. So it pays you in Zooshi when you win. But nonetheless, gamification, all of these things, even if it's simple, when you see them developing that early on the Binance Smart Chain, it shows that they got a team that's doing something, they're proactive. And these are all indicators that we're looking for in our community to know if a project's gonna be successful. Now, I wanted to share with you how we found this early. We do it by not working alone. Like a lot of you are out there on your own, or you're in random Telegram groups or pump groups. A lot of times they're pump groups and everybody's just trying to pump. No one's actually collaborating, working together, and going like a little bit extra distance together to find these before they launch, beyond just trying to pump and dump and kind of like selfish, self-centered interest, which there's nothing wrong with, but it's just not organized. Like you're overwhelmed with information. It's not collaborative. It's not organized. So in our Discord, and it's not the only one out there, I happen to think it's by far the best, most organized group. We call it a tribe, working together. But you'll see if you go to like, you know, to one of our sections, like right here, it says pre-sales. If you can zoom in, the category is pre-sales, and under there's a channel called Bucket. And we just have pre-sales listed in here. Actually, there's a dump truck. I should, you know, if I should mention, the first place now is the dump truck that someone would post something. There's no format, that would be disorganized. But then we have scouts that are well trained in our group on how to follow a specific format and organize and structure this, and they put those into the bucket. And so this one, Zooshi, was put into the bucket on August 7th. I don't know if you can read this because it might be small in your video, but August 7th. And you can see it gave the name, it gave the website, it gave the Telegram, and it's also, there's some notes, they give some notes, you know, about the project, and those get expanded further in vetting. So I'm not going to go there now, but we then vet them, and not all of them get vetted, but many of them get vetted, and it's even further analysis. But beyond that, like when I search Zooshi, you're going to see from August 7th, when this gets posted in the bucket, there's all this discussion. This is all Zooshi, discussing Zooshi, and that's just page 8. Let's look at 7. This is all discussions about Zooshi. You see Zooshi, not to mention Zooshi reward, first of its kind right now, also a game to win. Like, so you would have learned all of these details, and this looks like perhaps the vetted. Yeah, so it also was put in vetting right here in time. So further analysis. So, you know, the key to this, guys, is not being out there on your own. If you really want to make the big money, the big gains, I mean, it's massive. Now, ours is a private Discord, but extremely inexpensive, $55 a month, as compared to, I know someone who was paying $997 a month to be in a group that's like this. And he said he was in that for months. It was so disorganized. came in this. I'm showing you highly, highly organized, and I won't even go into all the other channels. We also do micro caps. So after something's launched, same kind of process. There's a dump truck channel where people post whatever in any format, just so we have it started. And there's the bucket. It takes it one step further. Those are micro caps, not pre-sales. You know, and then we have rewards tokens. Now this is a rewards token, so this could have very well ended up in here for those that are really highlighting that. We have GOAT, greatest of all time. These are lists of teams, devs, marketers that have had proven success track records. A lot of you have heard of the team Dev6 behind Mini Doge launch and Cream Pie. They're coming out with another project in a month. Wouldn't you like to know about that? You know what I mean? Like, we follow these teams that have proven track records for these huge successes, for these 100Xs. Rug polls. So someone starts to catch wind of a rug poll. If it gets confirmed, it goes in here. There's lists of teams that we know are bad teams. You see them on a project, you probably don't want to get involved. And then all kinds of stuff. Education, those that are new to this, how-to videos on how to do all of this in there, terminology. But I mean, if you just want simple and you want to find these pre-sales, this is how we found it. This is how we found Zooshi and all of these, one after another. People are just making a killing. We had a guy come in here last month, and the very next day of getting in here, he got into 3 projects. One of them 100x in 5 days. He turned $850, about 3 BNB at the time, into $102,000. I'll put a link to a bunch of like success stories. We have a gain section. It's just under the members category. It's just absolutely insane. Like, it's unreal what we're seeing in terms of results that people are getting, but it's because we're working together. That's how we're finding these early. Is it's organized, it's collaborative. There's a process for identifying these, you know, with the dump truck, putting them all in there really fast, people on the run, and then the bucket that takes it one step further, and then the vetting, and then the discussions, and then everyone following the same crypto pre-sale strategy, looking for the same criteria. Which I'll give you a link below. We have a free class on those criteria that we're looking for. But the fact that we're not alone doing it and it's highly organized, that's how we're finding these early. That's the key to this, guys. So, you know, member section gains, if I go there, your gains, I mean, it's just insane. Every day, every single day, it's like, these are all like yesterday wins, like just crazy. And we call it RIP FT, recoup investment, profit, then leave in free tokens. Because those free tokens you leave in then after you've already profited, like with Zooshi, like a ton of people in our team did this one. When they first see the first big pump, they'll sell just enough to recoup the investment, take profit, which they can now use to invest into other ones. And now the free tokens that they leave in, they can, when this skyrockets, they can sell those later. Incredible strategy. So anyway, this is just another one, guys. A lot of you get emotionally attached to these. We don't like invest long-term unless we continue to see consistent integrity. And this one shows signs of it, but we'll follow it. You know, we talk about concerns, red flags, issues that we're seeing, we dig in deep, and, you know, we'll leave in more free tokens over the long haul if we see that this is a big project, but at that point, it's not even any risk because we've already profited. Guys, work together. I don't, you know, it doesn't matter if it's our community or another community. Find a highly collaborative, highly organized process, working with a group of people that are finding these, sorting them, so that everybody's putting in a little bit of time, like just very little, but together, collectively, you're able to conquer the whole web. That's what we're doing. I know we're not the only ones doing it, but I think we're the best at it. Tribe 100X, check it out. And yeah, we'll keep our eye on Zooshi. We're going to keep talking about it. We got a lot of people with free tokens now that profited on this in the first day, that got in on it early in our tribe. So we'll keep following it. And I'll do another update on Zooshi as far as fundamentals. Are we seeing them continue to do what we're looking for the longer term investment, for holding those free tokens longer? It's too early to tell yet, but it certainly was an awesome pre-sale. They certainly did a good job with the marketing. What are we looking at on the market cap right now? About 6 million, not bad for 24 hours at all. And, you know, sometimes these can go down. We also have a technical analysis channel in there where we have a lot of TAs that are following that and doing a fantastic job of letting us know where the buyback, you know, where the buy-in level might be again, all those kinds of things, but we'll keep you posted on that. I just wanted to let you know that there are ways to spot these early. There are groups out there that make that really simple to do. Ours is one of them. And that's the way you find them before they launch. And that's the key, is to get into these before their pre-sale, or in this case, before the fair launch on PancakeSwap. Obviously, you know, obviously, yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, but there's all these scams and stuff. Well, yeah, there's some rug pulls, but we even have ways of identifying in our crypto pre-sale strategy how to avoid the rug pulls. And if you get in one, you can still profit on a rug pull. And there's so many wins, and the wins are so great. Like this was an easy 6X that it overcompensates that. As long as you have a process that's super efficient and effective, which you can't do on your own. You can't go out in all the Telegram groups and sort all these and vet all these on your own. You just can't. I just don't know if a lot of people understand that. You got to be in a really effective, highly efficient, effective, organized group if you're really going to be able to conquer this, just make it like a system, like a conveyor belt. Anyway, this is a good project as far as a pre-sale, looking at it early, looking at it leading up to the launch. Some people had some red flag concerns that were discussed early, but all in all, we looked at the big picture. That just had to do with some previous projects that the devs behind this were in, but you can't have always a perfect situation. Zooshi measured up to the crypto presale strategy well. And so well enough for us to jump in. Now, as far as how long we leave our free tokens in there, for the long term, now we keep watching. We keep watching how they communicate, how they continue developing, what the team's doing, how they're treating their audience, like the way they communicate and engage when asked the tough questions. And all of that will tell us how long to leave the free tokens in, or if we should sell early, and I'll keep you posted on that.